Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
You're listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I don't know. This might be just a little too easy for you guys and gals because you're all just so super smart. I mean, if this was just a regular talk show, nobody would get this answer. But because this is The Kim Komando Show, you're with the program. So I want to kick it off with just a bit of trivia. Okay, let's go back in time when the whole world in the 1960s, they were watching Star Trek because it was unveiling every new gadget seemed in every new episode. So back in 1966, Lieutenant Uhura, she whipped out this little device and everybody was astounded at what it did, that it's so commonplace today. Okay, I want you to take a guess. Which everyday gizmo made its primetime debut on the USS Enterprise? Was it A, 3D printing, B, a Bluetooth earpiece, C, a GPS, or D, was it a smart assistant, say Alexa or Siri type of person? All right, give you that answer in just a second. But on that happy note, welcome to the Kim Komando Show, because after all, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, and I am here to make sure that you are always tech ahead, because otherwise you'll be left tech behind in the digital dust. And you can find the Kim Komando Show, that is the biggest show, the most trusted show, the award-winning show on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And this is really great. You can get the Kim Komando Show in your favorite podcast player. Just search for Commando with a K. And a huge hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members in 175 countries, and 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. I just love that. Now, I know that you have a slew of questions about something that's happening in your digital life. And I also know that you can go to your favorite AI chatbot. But when you need trusted advice, you need advice from a person, a human being who does not hallucinate. That's where I come into play. 1-888-825-5254 is the Commando hotline. And just a reminder, you can always make an appointment to speak with me here on the show. Just head over to the official homepage of the Kim Komando Show. That's commando.com. And there's a link at the top that says Ask Kim. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for the answer? Okay. Let me see. Let me tell you again. Was it a 3D printer, a Bluetooth earpiece, GPS, or some type of smart assistant? Okay. All right. Now, if you said Bluetooth earpiece, you were correct. That's right. And here we are 60 years later saying, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't have any bars. Oh, you cut out for just a second. So annoying. All righty then. You know the drill every single day of my life. Weekends, weekdays, national holidays, even when I'm on vacation. Because let me tell you, tech never stops. I make sure that I go to all these different sites to make sure that I know exactly what's happening in the tech world. And then I can just transference all this intellect and know-how from my brain to yours. And here are 5 things that are happening right now you need to know about. And for this, we're actually going to go back to 1994. That's when automakers started putting in black boxes in every car and truck. And we were told at that time, don't worry about it. It's only going to record crash data and engine performance. It's wonderful. Okay, story change. It didn't take long for the car makers to realize that black box data super valuable. They could sell it to everybody. And so they're called EDRs, short for Event Data Recorders, and they log more than just car crashes and engine performance. They track your speed, how hard you brake, how fast you accelerate, where you go, how often you drive at night, and a whole bunch more. And some of these even store videos too. And then all this information about you is just packaged all up and automatically sold and sent to data brokers like LexisNexis. And from there, it chooses to create a driving risk score that can impact your, you got it, car insurance. So is this a privacy problem? Yeah. Is it illegal? Nope. All right, moving on to number 2. I read about this in the Wall Street Journal. Healthy foods we're finding out are just more than just, chemical cocktails. And there's an app that is just blowing up here in the United States. As a matter of fact, they're getting 25,000 new users every single day. I would love to have a product like that. It's called Yuka, Y-U-K-A. It lets you scan barcodes on grocery store items and instantly see a health score. Red for bad, green for good. As a matter of fact, I tried it on vitamin water from Kirkland. And here I thought I was giving Barry this great thing that he was getting vitamins and he was drinking water at the same time. And then it turns out of a 100 score, it gave it like a 41. I'm like, oh, maybe not so much. It was the artificial sweeteners that was throwing it off, by the way. So it's like a traffic light for your diet. So here's the twist. Big food companies, as the Wall Street Journal reports, they're not loving this. Some are threatening lawsuits, saying that Yuka's scoring system is unfair. Unfair, yeah. They're exposing all this stuff that is in our food right now. Again, that's Y-U-K-A. Moving on to number 3, Apple made a big splash with its new Apple Intelligence, saying it's going to be wonderful. It's going to make images, give you priority notifications, has ChatGPT baked right into all of your iDevices, but it doesn't work. Yeah. Apple Intelligence, as available now when it launched, has quietly vanished from the website. Why? After a review from the National Advertising Division, Apple had to backpedal. And with the WWDC coming on June 9th, that's the Worldwide Developers Conference, they really have to get their act together. I was trying to use just Siri this morning on the way to work. That thing just does not listen. It just does not respond anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I think it worked better a year ago. All right, moving on to number 4. Let's talk about deepfakes. They used to be pretty easy to spot. Faces were off, eyes didn't blink. You got 5 fingers or 6 fingers rather instead of 5. Expressions look stiff. They've gotten a lot better. And researchers started looking for signals that AI couldn't fake, like a pulse. See, in real video, skin color changes ever so lightly with blood flow. And detectors picked up on those subtle shifts. No pulse, it's probably fake. But the reason why I bring this up, trick doesn't work anymore. That's right. Researchers in Germany built a detector that looked for those tiny skin tone changes. They tested it, and the fakes had unbelievable heartbeats. Yes. And finally, this coming in at number 5. How's it going when you go to the bathroom? I mean, how's it really happening? Is it a rocky road? Is it smooth and easy? Well, thanks to new tech for $299, you can buy a toilet camera that will monitor your gut health by photographing your poop. That's right. It's called the Throne. It uses artificial intelligence, of course it does, to analyze the size, the shape, and the structure and sends the data straight to an app on your phone. Hey, what's that in your camera roll? Don't worry about privacy, they say. The camera only captures what's inside the toilet bowl. And, of course, all data is always encrypted. Talk about logging your logs. All right, coming up, not only do we have just the best callers ever, we've got all kinds of tips. I've just tried to squeeze so much into this show. Like, for example, how you can store 1,000 songs in the cloud for free. What are the tricks to find some hidden spy cameras? How you can really find your true phone's battery power, and other words that will trigger those smart assistants like Alexa and Google and Siri if you just don't want to get too frustrated. Oh, man, is it just me? I don't think so. And of course, you do have me, Kim Commando. Okay, imagine getting $500 for yourself and then $500 to give someone who truly deserves it. Maybe it's a teacher, a nurse, a fireman, a neighbor, a stranger who's been through some tough times. Well, that's our Pay It Forward contest. It's happening right now. You can win $500, and then I'm going to give $500 to somebody else. And you can enter to win right now at winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, let's get started with Matt in Cottonwood, California. What's going on, Matt?
I have a 16-year-old daughter that's getting ready to drive, and I'm one of those crazy parents that have not given their kids cell phones yet.
Ooh, you know what? You've held out. Wow.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So she doesn't have a cell phone yet, and she's getting ready to drive, and I want a cell phone that does not have internet ability and does not have the availability to have social media apps. So my dilemma is where I live, I don't have cell signal. So all of our calls at home are made on Wi-Fi. And so is there a flip phone that will be able to accomplish this, or is there software I can download to a smartphone to be able to make it a dumb phone, but still make calls on Wi-Fi?
Okay, I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Okay, she's 16. She's gonna go to college in 2 years. I don't know about you, but when I went to college, there were those kids that went crazy. You know the ones I'm talking about. That the parents kept them so sheltered that when they went out on their own, they were the worst. I mean, I had kids that their parents were vegans, and then the first thing they did, they went to McDonald's for 2 weeks in a row. Or the parents said, you're not going to drink, and we don't drink. And then all of a sudden, they're at the frat parties and throwing up the next day. Now, I don't know your daughter. I don't know your family. But what I would rather you do is that you give her a phone and you teach her to be a good digital citizen. And you teach her the rules of the road now, just like she's learning to drive, so that when she does go out on her own and she is a self-sustaining adult, that she has the tools and the knowledge to make the right decisions and not to be taken by the scammers and stalkers and creepos and everybody else on the internet, because nobody taught her the right and the wrong way to handle a phone. See, if you take everything away from her, you're not teaching her. And a phone is going to be with her entire life. Now, I'm not saying that you give her a phone and you go, oh, here, sweetheart, daddy loves you. Let me know how you're doing with your phone 2 weeks from now. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, here, sweetie, dad's going to give you a phone and I'm going to lock it down certain ways until I think that you are knowledgeable enough to use this. And let's talk about how much time we're going to spend on our phone every day. And what's the main purpose of a phone? And of having a phone is not a rite of passage. You're not getting this just because you turned 16. You're getting this because I think that you're mature enough to handle it right now. And I'm going to teach you how to use it the right way. So we're not going to use the phone at dinner time. If I tell you that to put your phone away, then I expect that phone to be put away and I want it on the kitchen counter. I need to know every one of your passwords. And I'm going to know exactly what you're doing on that phone. If I see anything that's done inappropriately or wrong, then I'm going to take that phone away. And let's talk about everything else on this phone, okay? There's social media. There are people who are going to pretend that they're 18 years old and that they think you're beautiful and they want to meet you. You don't talk to strangers. You may see things online that you wish you've never seen. Then you need to tell me about that so we can talk about how to block that content. And why did you go there in the first place? If somebody asks you to send them a naked picture, I know that sounds strange, but they're out there. You're not going to send any naked pictures. Okay? Yeah. Because this is what they're faced with. Now, and you want her to have internet because if she gets in a car accident, you want an automatic notification if she can't reach her phone. And you're not going to get those capabilities with a flip phone. You're just not going to get it. So rather than just cutting her off at the knees, what I want you to do is to monitor her text messages. I want you to monitor her social media. And I want you to get alerts. If a word or something pops up, then you know it's there. She can't change the parental controls. You get real-time location tracking. You could say, I want to know when she leaves the house. I want an alert. I want to know when she leaves school. I want to know when she gets to work. I want to know when she comes home.
So how do we do that?
Exactly. That's the solution. Now, the solution is a few ways. Number one, you get an Android phone, and I can send you all the steps. You set up restricted profiles. You disable unwanted apps. You can disable Wi-Fi. You can turn off App Store access. There's something called Safe Search. You can only search for certain things. And then you can also use Family Link, where you set time limits. You can lock the device at specific times. You can approve apps, hide apps. And there's something called Norton Family you can put on a phone. If you're looking for a phone for your teenager, just like I talked about monitoring and tamper-proof and location tracking and screen limits, there's only one, and I wish I could tell you that there were three, but it's called the Bark phone, and I'm going to send you a link to it, okay?
Right.
And it looks like a really nice Android phone, which is, you know what I like about that, too, is that she's not going to look like a freak carrying a flip phone.
Well, she's looked like a freak without a phone for her entire life. So all of her friends know that her dad, that incidentally works in law enforcement, and sees the...
Okay, now I know where you're coming from. I understand, because if you're in law enforcement, you've seen all the lowest of the low, and you know what's out there, and nobody is going to hurt your baby. But we want to teach her to handle the bad people, because she's going to run into them. You can only protect her so much. And when she's 18, 19, 20, I want to make sure that she's smart. And that's where you come in, and that's where you monitor everything that she does. And she knows you're going to monitor her. I mean, she knows that. It's a given, okay? But I think I really want you to look at the Bark phone. It's like $50 a month, and it does everything that I said. They're not a sponsor of the show. How I got introduced to them, they're a sponsor in our free newsletter. So you may see the link in there. But I have a family member who's in a similar situation. She's the eldest of 6 kids, and Dad's pretty bent on not giving her a phone. Explained to him just what I explained to you, and now she's got this phone, and he feels pretty confident that she's learning how to be a good digital citizen and a safe digital citizen. So, Matt, check out the Bark phone, and then we're going to send you all the steps that it takes to lock down an Android phone, but also I'm going to send you a link to that Bark phone. But I think it's perfect for you. I really do. And thank you for your call. You know, by the time you get your phone out of the box, you start using it for any amount of time, the battery just starts degrading. But you can figure out how much life your battery has left overall. On your iPhone, you go into settings and then battery, and you tap battery health. There you see your percentage showing your battery's current capacity. If it's lower than 80%, your phone's relatively new, Apple may in fact just replace your phone. On Android, a little bit trickier. There's an app called AccuBattery, and it will give you all the details on your battery's health. Again, that's on your iPhone. It's in settings called battery health. Android, you need to download AccuBattery. All right, still to come, how to store 100,000 of your favorite tunes in the cloud so you can listen to them anywhere, and more of your great phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise: home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk about how you can store up to 100,000 of your favorite songs in the cloud for free. Oh, also a great tip later on. I mean, especially if you're going to be traveling this summer, how to find hidden spy cameras. Oh my gosh, it's just a nightmare. And before we get to that, and of course, more of your phone calls, I mean, we already know that our voice assistants are listening all the time. As a matter of fact, Alexa, the new version, you don't even need to say the wake word in order for it to respond, which means, how does it know that? What is it listening for? Well, there are other wake words that are doing strange things with Google Home. So like, for example, instead of saying, okay, Google, if you say, okay, who's reading, it wakes up. If you say for Siri, a city, hey, Jerry, that's scary. Hey, seriously, then that also may trigger something with the smart speaker to start doing something that you want it to do. So in case you're wondering, like, how come it just woke up when you didn't say anything? It could just be your tone, your inflection, or some certain words that you've passed along. All right, back to the phones we go. Let's see. Victoria in La Jolla, California. I'm so glad that you called. What's going on in your digital life?
Oh, well, I run a small animal rescue, and it is in a location that does not have hardwired internet access or cable, but it does have electricity. We use it as an office and also to help us with our rescue animals. The problem is I was recently assaulted there, and the police say we need to have security video cameras, which we're happy to put up, but when we went to get them, we were told that they have to have hardwired internet access. What can we do?
Well, does your cell phone work there?
It does, but it's not optimal. I mean, I'm not there all the time. If it only works.
Oh no, I understand.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
No, I just want to know. I just want to make sure, Victoria, that there's a cell signal getting
Absolutely.
to where the place is.
Clearly, yes. Very good signal, actually.
All right. So here's what we're going to do: is that there are several companies that do this, that make these. So we're going to, recommend some security cameras for you that work on 4G. So it's going to work on LTE. And they're rechargeable batteries with a solar panel, so you don't have to worry about getting electricity to them.
Perfect.
And they're actually really good. I mean, so it's 4 megapixel night vision, two-way talk. It can detect people, detect vehicles, so you automatically get a notification if that happens. And they're about $200, but it's really hard to replace that with something else when you don't want to put in the electricity and you don't have cable and you don't have a really good way to get an internet connection. That's why you're looking at an LTE, like mobile wireless outdoor camera.
Yes.
So what kind of animals do you rescue?
Oh, we do everything. Primarily, of course, cats and dogs, who are the most popular. But in the last year, we've done horses and snakes and, oh gosh, we did a couple of frogs. We don't turn anything down.
Frogs?
Frogs, F-R-O-G-S. I know people called up and said, oh, we've got this frogs in our front yard. What are we going to do? And we don't have water. We don't know where they came from, blah, blah, blah. So we contacted the Aqua. We're very well connected because we've been in rescue for 40 years. And so we contacted the frog rescue people who we were able to give them to.
Wow. And then the snake, really?
Yes. If you're on Nextdoor, you see lots of people find snakes in their backyards, like boa constrictors, animals that are not indigenous to our area. Obviously, we don't want to rescue something who that's the environment they live in, right? But boa constrictors, you don't see those so much in Southern California natively. So, again, we're connected with the snake rescue people. So we call up and say, could you come and get this out of a tree or a bathroom or somebody's yard or blah, blah, blah. And off they come. Yeah, if we can rescue, we will. But something like a boa constrictor, not something I have a lot of personal familiarity with. But we don't want to leave them out there either because we do animal rescue.
I'm sure. I don't think I could help you out with that. Are you nonprofit?
We are.
So here, let me do this. I'm going to send you one. My contribution to your
God.
animal rescue.
Bless your heart.
So this way you
That's
can
enormous.
get those alerts and rescue the snakes and the horses and the frogs and the cats and the dogs, everything
And
else.
we'll send you a cat. You want a cat? We'll send you a cat. Or a dog.
No, Victoria. But thank you for that. I don't need a cat. You know, I have a 90-pound golden retriever who is.
Oh, you're spoiled.
Yes, and she's wonderful. Her name's Abby. But she's a big girl. And you know what, Victor, I have to tell you, I was working today and she gets on my lap. I think she still thinks she's a lap dog. You know, and I'm like,
Yes.
Abby, Abby, I mean, I don't weigh much more than you. Okay, you need to move. Okay, you just need to move. So, Victoria, hang on the line, and then we're going to get your name and address. We have your whole name and the name of the rescue, and then this way we can send you out as our random acts of kindness for this show about a free cellular camera for your animal rescue. That's nonprofit there in La Jolla, California. Such a great call. All right, I just love this. Let's say that you still have a whole bunch of cassettes. Remember those? CDs or, yes, vinyl records laying around. Well, think about this. What if you could put them in the cloud so you can listen to your tunes in your car, at home, while exercising, on vacation, whatever, without having to pay for a monthly music subscription? Well, here's how. First, you have to make sure that you have a Google account. Then you head to music.youtube.com on your desktop, which, by the way, you have to do this on your desktop or a laptop. Can't do it on your phone. And from there, you can drag and drop music files straight into the browser and then click your profile pic and select Upload Music. Now, once your music is uploaded, you can organize it into playlists or just play your tracks directly through the YouTube Music app, which is, of course, available everywhere for your phone, your tablet, your smart speaker. Again, all this magic starts at music.youtube.com. All right, still to come, we have some more great phone calls that you can't afford to miss. And then later on, I know it's annoying, how to find the hidden spy cams in a hotel room or in a rental, or maybe even in your house. You're on the Kim Komando Show. Let's see. Brian in Orlando, Florida. You're up next.
Hi, Kim, and thank you for being so kind and taking the call and helping all of us in the electronic tech community to learn and do better. Thank you so much.
Oh, my honor and my pleasure, Brian. After all, I don't know a lot about finance, so I definitely don't want to do that. Okay. Big stock picks is not my idea of a good time at all. So how can I lend a hand?
Well, I've been hearing these reports around the country about lithium battery fires, and I heard about that bike shop in New York where people died. It's very concerning to me, when we have electronic equipment and batteries and bikes and scooters and things like that. And I heard that these fires are hard to put out, so you have to be really cautious. Even the firefighters say they got to put a lot of water on it, and home fire extinguishers can't put them out. So I heard that a solution maybe to charge your batteries safely is to get a timer so you don't overcharge them, overheat them. But I'm wondering, is there a particular type of timer that might be better than others for this function or quality, or would they all be about the same and having a timer is better than having no timer?
Well, very good point. I'm glad that you gave me a call. Yes, tragedy in that fire in New York. And e-bikes are going on fire, and they are very difficult to put out because some of these have really big honking batteries. And the worst thing that you can do is just keep that e-bike charging all the time. And a lot of people do that. They do that, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they get home, they plug it in, and then they figure, well, I'm going to ride it tomorrow, the next day, and they forget to unplug it. And then that could lead to the battery overheating and then obviously potentially starting a fire. Okay. So getting a smart plug with a timer is a really good idea because these can be programmed to turn off after a set amount of time. So you're going to plug in your e-bike. You're going to say in an hour, it's just going to automatically turn off. You can do that remotely with a smartphone app. So that this way you don't have to sit there and get off your butt and, if you forget that you're driving around like, oh gosh, I forgot to turn the bike off, that you can go ahead and just do that on your phone. You want to take a look at brands like TP-Link and Belkin. They're available over on Amazon.
Oh.
And you might remember, if you don't want to go the whole smartphone way, is that you might remember long time ago we had those little mechanical dials, those switches.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, the simple ones.
Okay, you can use those. We used to use them to control lights, but they can also be used to turn off after a certain amount of time where you think that device is fully charged. And so, but, because we all have our phones, it just seems to make more sense that you're going to look at a smart plug with a timer functionality. Again, you can use your smartphone. Actually, you can even use your voice because it's going to be all tied into your whole system. So you can just say, Alexa, turn off the battery on my bike in the garage. But, big rule of thumb, whatever you do, don't keep that e-bike plugged in all the time, 24/7. That's a big no-no. That's a big danger. All right, let's see. James in Houston, Texas. This looks like a great question. James, thanks for your call today.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing today? I certainly am a fan of your program and have enjoyed listening over the last 2-3 years and have actually learned quite a number of things that have helped me. I'm certainly not an IT person, but they have helped me. And had one in particular here just 2-3 weeks ago that where you had made a comment about Google was going to a new system or philosophy where that AI was going to support the system more.
Yes, it's called AI Overview. And so now when you look something up on Google, is that instead of it giving you a whole list of various websites for you to go check it out, is that AI Overview will just show up and then say, "Oh, here's the information that you needed," and so you don't have to go anywhere.
And so, what kind of my interest was, our church has a website, and we've had a number of folks that have said that they were actually visiting us because of them seeing it on our website, and so I didn't know if that would result in less traffic for our site and then less people seeing us. And would there be some way to kind of get around this or address this as far as a strategy?
Well, it's a great question because web traffic as a whole is decreasing. And because less people need to go to Google to look anything up, whether they're using ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or whatever it may be, right? And so if less people are going to Google, then that's going to translate into less traffic for your site. So what else can you do? I would make sure that your church is listed on Google Maps and also Apple Maps, okay? And make sure that the listing is, accurate. Put some great photos up there, do regular updates. I would also ask the members of the church to write a great review on Google Maps and on Apple Maps. Because the more information that you can get out there that's positive about you, and the more people that are saying, yeah, this is a great church, is that'll tell the algorithms and the AI that, wow, this is really someplace that a lot of people like in Houston. And if somebody goes to AI and asks, I need this type of church in Houston, Texas, that's going to be like, oh, well, this church has all these hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews, okay? Social media is going to become really more important, and especially live streaming. So I'm sure with the church, you're already live streaming. If you're not already making shorts and reels for social media, that would also be something that I would encourage you to do. And then, of course, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have done some of that, live streaming and stuff.
Yeah, and we'll live stream, but also create the shorts and the reels because those are, those I'm talking about like 15-second, 30-second, 1-minute videos that you can put all over social media. And then I would also look and try to really engage the local community more, meaning that if you could do any type of meetups, any events, and really tailor them to a specific demographic. So we're going to have meetups for people who are retired, people who are new parents, people who are single, Okay. And so that this way you start building more branches into the local community, because I'm telling you, folks, it's happening now. Web traffic is decreasing. And if you are dependent upon a website for your income, you really have to sit back. And I want you to think about, what if the Google search goes away? What if the organic search goes away? We just rolled out a brand new website, by the way. So you can head over to commando.com. That's Komando, commando.com. You might be saying, well, Kim, if the web's going away, why did you just build a new website? Well, if you look at our website, it's a lot different than the site before. You start seeing little nuggets of information. Just like social media, you can scroll. Because I think the days of having long articles with all the pop-up ads and the video ads and everything overtaking it, those days are long gone too. So start thinking critically about the future of your business, again, if it depends on the web. Hey, just a reminder, you can get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast, all 4 hours, wherever you get your podcast. Of course, it's not all 4 hours. It doesn't take 4 hours. That's 4 hours with all the commercials and stuff like that. So if you want to get the Kim Komando Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast, just search for Commando with a K, of course. Coming right back, the tricks to find these hidden spy cameras here on the Kim Komando Show. I'll never forget a story I read a couple of months ago about a guy who actually, in an apartment, he drilled a hole from his floor down to the floor underneath him so he could drop a spy camera in a 13-year-old girl's bathroom so he could watch her take a shower. How crazy is that? So how do you find these hidden cameras? Well, number one is you want to look for any type of lens reflection. You turn off the lights, you scan the room with a flashlight or a laser pointer, looking for these bright reflections. You want to look in the vents, any holes or gaps in the walls or ceilings. But if you have any question, just pick up an RF detector for wireless cameras that you just might not see. We have some links to my preferred ones over at commando.com. Hey, and don't forget to enter to win our contest. Go to winfromkim.com.